Hello and welcome back to ADHD TV Reacts. We've just completed the storyline. I've given a review. I'm going to give an overview of the story. You start off being picked up by Professor Fig. You are one of the new 5-year students, one of the only 3 that they talk about. You, Professor Rackham, and Isadora it's Morgana, basically. But Professor Fig's wife, Miriam, had been, well, you find out later, probably killed by Ranrock, the main villain of the game, trying to find information about a secret power. Leaves you with a little metal box that they can't get into, and he doesn't know what he's doing or how to do it or why any of this has happened. On the flight to Hogwarts, you get attacked by a dragon, and that kind of starts you off on the things are kind of going to go crazy route. You end up at Hogwarts, you meet a few people, you get sorted into your house pretty quickly, and that's an entire optional thing. It doesn't change much of the gameplay throughout, mostly just the visual art of the clothes and banners and stuff. Everything else pretty much remains the same in the game, except for 4 missions, or for 1 mission that goes 4 different ways depending on what house you're in. In this one, after getting to Hogwarts and getting sorted into your house, I was in Slytherin. You meet a few folks in your common room, explore a little bit, then you go out, and one of your first missions is to go to Hogsmeade and pick up supplies. That's one of your first choices. Again, it really doesn't much matter which one you pick at this point, if you pick Nat's Eye or Sebastian, but one will make more sense for other storylines because, well, Sebastian really does a lot in the way of progressing a very interesting storyline. Once in Hogsmeade, you buy supplies, you run around, you do all the stuff you need to do, and at the end of it, a troll shows up, and the townspeople quickly lead him away. But unfortunately, he had brought a friend, and another troll showed up. After you and whichever companion you choose defeats the troll, you end up going to the 3 broomsticks, and on the way you see a guy named Rookwood who is working with Ranrock, talking about, basically it was them who came up with the troll to try to kill you, and it just didn't work. So Rookwood, it's always pronounced like Rockwood, but Rookwood then basically follows you with one of his associates, and then gets kicked out of the bar immediately. That's when you start kind of learning about more things. You have the ability at that time to meet a goblin named Lodgok. You talk about some issues, try to find some kind of way to get around Ranrock and all of the issues that he's going to cause. Throughout the story, you can completely ignore most of the side quests, but one of them that's going to pop up as a side quest really isn't going to be a side quest if you want all of the abilities. The Sebastian Sallow side quests are where you get all of the unforgivable curses and eventually talent points. There's this guy. Once you get talent points, the unforgivable curses become way overpowered.
You only have Revelio.
Throughout the quest, you're going to go and find different things for different people and bring stuff back. One of the first things you're introduced to is the buying system in Hogsmeade before the troll attacks. You go through and you buy seeds and you buy a couple of things here and there, but those really give you a good starting point for things you will need later in the game. Most of your spells are gonna, potions are gonna be things that you can grow your own or things you can find in the world. Pretty early on, you learn a few moves, and then you finally, I believe you get Leviosa pretty early on. Your basic one, your basic Leviosa. Eventually, Sebastian will give you the spell Confringo, which is a very nice spell to have. You already have a fire spell, but it's so short range. It's almost useless. But the Confringo lets you hit stuff from pretty far out.
You've been paying attention in the
Alright, well, took care of that guy. Once you work your way through getting a few spells here and there, the main storyline is going to continue pushing you to speak to Lodgok, learn more about Ranrock, explore a few things. Not really a whole lot going on there, honestly. But what you eventually get to is a story that Sebastian tells you about what happened to his sister Anne. She was cursed. It almost feels like the Imperio curse, but at the end of the day, I don't know many people who've had the Imperio curse that have also been in pain for the rest of their life. So maybe something was different about it, or some other kind of crazy thing, but well, you find out that the goblin that cursed Anne told her that children should be seen and not heard. Well, you could. And that kind of becomes a sticking point for Sebastian. He remembers it very clearly. He's very convinced that a goblin was involved. Oh, got another coin.
Revelio. Accio.
You and Professor Fig eventually
Revelio.
stumble upon Professor Rackham's trial. There's some hints in a book about it, and you go to a place in the north. I think it's the North Ford Bog or something of that. You'll end up here, San Bakar's Tower. Yeah, and then near the North Ford Bog. You'll go through a trial in here, and that will lead you to a portal that takes you back to Hogwarts in a room called the Map Chamber. It's around this time in the game you'll also get access to the Room of Requirement, which is a useful room.
Revelio.
You will go through the room. If you're lucky enough, you'll find a Jack in the Box, and if you give it a good look, you can tell it's a Snape. But the main point of the Room of Requirement is just to give you a place to grow things, to decorate, to kind of have your own. Eventually, with Deke, you'll get the chance to also rescue beasts,
Revelio.
which is a really great way of making money. One thing with Hogwarts, it is extremely
This place has seen
difficult
better days.
to make money at the beginning of the game. Everything costs a insane amount. Way more than it really should. Brooms are like 500. I think brooms are 200, the basic ones. The good one, the nice looking ones, they all handle exactly the same. There's no major difference in the way the brooms handle, but if you're one that wants to collect all of them, then it's going to end up costing you some money. The second you can get the animals, it's really easy to make money with animals. Though there is a lot of talk about not being a poacher in this world, there's just not really many farmable resources so you could do anything other. If you could grow and make your own potions and brew your own potions and sell those, it'd be great, but you can't.
What's up his sleeve this time,
It'd be kind of nice if you could. Through your travels, you'll find some people here and there that will help you with stuff. One of them is the Merlin trials. Those are nice to get done because it's what is that one? The Merlin trials, while they are very, very repetitive after you get past the very first ones, there are 9 separate 9 individual Merlin trials styles with 95 individual Merlin trials themselves. And that is a little bit of a lot, because it's not awful, but once you've beaten one of that kind, all the rest of them are the exact same, and you just have to kind of live with that. But the Merlin trials will give you access to more slots, and when you are exploring, that is the main thing that you will find is items for your clothing. each clothing will sometimes give you boosts and better abilities. The higher the clothing, the more money. It's the most consistent way to make money at the beginning of the game because the clothes are there. So the more slots you get, the less you have to teleport back and forth. Once you get some stuff built in your room of requirement, you make some potions and grow some plants. They will definitely make things easier for you. From this point on in the story, you basically just kind of go through stuff, follow your main quest. A lot of them are going to have Fig involved. He just kind of tags along with you in a lot of things, and if he's there when things are fighting, he will cast spells and he will do stuff as well. But for the most part, almost every mission they will send you on, they will tell you that he can't really be involved. So you find in the map chamber keepers, the keepers are the keepers of a great secret, which is the magic power, the ancient magic that no one else knows about, except for Rackham, Isadora, and a goblin, named Brogbar, I believe.
Revelio.
So you'll end up going through a bunch of these trials. Professor Rackham's trial is the first, and then Professor Rookwood's trial is the second one. Miss Fitzgerald's trial is the third. It involves the Deathly Hallows. It's probably one of my more favorite one in the thing, because it's got a more interesting style of artwork to it. A lot of them are, the first two are very similar. It's just finding your way through like a maze, basically, and it ain't bad, but after the first time you don't really need to have that same sort of mission again. So after you get a couple of trials in, you'll be dealing with Rookwood a couple more times, you'll be dealing with Ranrock a couple more times. You'll go to a few classes, learn a few spells. Each time you get a quest, you can look it up and it will tell you either the needed spell or the spell you will be receiving from doing that mission. And you can kind of base what you want to do, which mission you want to take, based on the spell that you're wanting to go for, or whatever it is you're needing. Always upgrade your plants. So throughout, you'll meet Natsai, One, and Poppy. I don't really remember her last name. Natsai is a student who transferred in from Uganda. Her mother is a teacher.
Revelio.
She is very not okay with Harlow and some of the bad stuff that Harlow does. It's understandable. And Poppy Sweeting, that was her name. She is very much more concerned about the poachers. These will be the very last ones I do. So you go through all of the stuff with Poppy and Natsai, and you're dealing with Harlow and the Ashwinders, and you can choose to wait to the end of the storyline. I feel like it doesn't make sense in some respects, especially with the Harlow things, because Harlow works with Rookwood and Ranrock, and you can beat the entire game, defeat Ranrock and Rookwood, and Harlow is still there. And then you just go and arrest him. You work your way through the trials to find the repositories, to try to find where the hidden magic, or where the ancient magic has been hidden and kept away and all that. And you eventually figure out that the final repository that Ranrock is looking for the entire game is under the castle. And apparently all of their defensive spells that they put into building Hogwarts, no one thought about digging underneath it, so... Oh, that didn't count because he wasn't on fire.
Where'd it go?
During that mission, you'll get a chance to... You know what? I'm done with y'all. During that mission, you'll get a chance to kind of see the end things, make a few other choices in dialogue that doesn't exactly seem to affect the outcome of any of these things, but still do it. You know, got this now. But yeah, so you go, after you do all the trials, you defeat Ranrock, decide what you're going to do with the ancient magic, and then the basic story is over. In this playthrough, I did very much try to focus more on the main quests, but there are still going to be quests that you do. These are rather easy if you can find them all. So it definitely adds to the storyline, which I think the storyline still makes way more sense if you're a Slytherin. It just... Sebastian plays such a large part in the game that if you are not Slytherin, getting to know him feels abrupt and rushed. like it makes more sense when you're in the same house with someone. But the way that they kind of play it off, it's very just like, oh hey, I'm Sebastian. Hey, want to come meet my family? Oh, I missed that one. There we go.
Revelio.
This job has been done with. Waste of time, this is. I've had enough of them. What's this? A child wanders too far from home.
Y'all two fight out amongst yourself.
Repelio.
Alright.
You answer for this.
Alrighty then. No. So your main storyline mission is, and it's not awful or anything, but it's definitely not super deep. Wanted to kind of give a brief overview without super spoilers, but there are people you'll meet and things you will do, and I definitely think doing the side missions is a great way to kind of really get a feel for the story. Even though you do not have to do them, the story will make more sense. It will be more impactful if you do more, because you'll see more. Like, you just should. Like, you should do more than you should do more than just rush through the main line and get it done. One of the main issues that I do have with the game is just literally that there's not more things to do. And it's not because, like, well, the game is bad or there's some kind of issue with it. It's because the game did a very good job at the parts it does well. So you just kind of end up wanting to see more. Like, when you're at the end of the game and you're all powered up and there's all kinds of stuff going on, like, it would just be nice to have something more to do at the end of the day. But I suppose when the complaint about a game is that there's just not enough of it, that's not too terribly awful of a complaint about a game. I do wish that you had more interactions with the people around you. I do wish there was more quests to give, even if they were side quests. I do wish there were more way to farm things. I wish you could make and sell potions, especially near the end of the game when your ability to make potions is only for exploring and stuff like that, and there's no real stakes to it. It's just kind of do it to do it and then go from there. It would be nice if it just kind of kept doing more, but as is, game was not bad. Game was not blow your mind amazing. But if you are a huge Harry Potter fan, I can definitely see where this can give you the feeling of Hogwarts that you may be looking for. Hogwarts, the school in here itself, is incredibly detailed. Has a lot of hidden stuff in it, stuff to go looking for, stuff to go looking to find. Like, there's just a lot. And it would be very easy to miss main things in the game and big spots in the game, and that, not even main things, just things in the game that someone who is a big fan of Hogwarts, the series, the books, and the movies, may just walk by and not ever see it, and just might not know anything about it. But this has been a brief overview of the story with as few spoilers as I can. If you enjoy the video, please leave a like. If you really liked the video, subscribe. If you found something of interest in it, share it with somebody. As always, thank you for tuning in. This has been ADHD TV Reacts, tuning out. Goodbye.